Welcome back. This is Ranawa Chaudhary. You are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It's Monday, 10th of February. It's another day here on my live channel here on my Indian football live discussion. And we just watched Odisha FC hold Punjab FC to a 1-1 draw. A lot was said also in the post-match by Sergio Lopera. I think we'll discuss that as well. And to start off with, those of you watching, if you aren't regular watchers, do like, share, and subscribe Iron Foot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. And of course, to watch the other videos that I make. Today, of course, I raised the topic, which for me is a very important one. The topic of consistency. Why are our Indian footballers so inconsistent? So we'll talk about that as well. See. The reason why there are so many late bloomers, as you said in today's video, is because majority Indian players are still learning the basics when they are over 24 years of age compared to Europe, where they master the basics by the age of 15. Very valid point. I think that's actually right because we're seeing a lot of players at 26, 27, 28, some even, around the age of 30 are age where I would say, you know what, this player has, gotten to a certain level and again, we're struggling on the field, across the field with our players. It's a reality, but so let's wait and see. But it is to me, especially with the matches that I watched live, how complex it is, because even when you're watching an ISL game live on television, I think you don't see a lot of things, and that's. Hey Manolo, good evening, welcome back. Good evening, Ishan. Can't believe we were robbed. Anyways, I wanted to have a talk with you. Okay, Aditya, let's talk about those things. Manolo says ISL equals to no quality. I would go even further. Indian football equal to no quality, equal to many drama, I think. I think that's the, to me, the clubs aren't doing what they're supposed to do. The academies aren't doing what they're supposed to do. The coaches, be it the senior coaches in the ISL at youth level, everybody should do what they're supposed to do, but not right. And nobody is really putting the finger in the wound and trying to clean the wound, clear the wound, trying to improve. We're always talking around the things and saying, oh, this, that, oh, blame this guys, blame those guys, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So these are realities, and therefore we have more drama than quality. And I have a feeling if this, it's become a soap opera. It is. We're not talking about the football part. We're talking about things in and around, and the quality is. I think the finishing, the mistakes by the goalkeepers today once more. It's I don't know. It's how deep, how low can we go? I think that's the question that should be asked to all these people involved directly in Indian football. Most of the people in Indian football who are making money on Indian football should be asking themselves the question, what value am I adding to the system? Do you add any value to the system? And most of these people should be honestly saying, no, I don't. Isaac doing good, should be in March squad. Yeah. Was out of the team a couple of weeks. So if Isaac does what he's doing at the moment, Isaac should be back in or should be not back, should be getting a call in the March window. How good was Albino's penalty save last night? Yeah. has had a few penalties with Sunil, if I'm not wrong, and that does help. So yeah, Albino, yeah, has had his moments. Yeah, let's see. Bangladesh announced squad for qualifiers. Yes, Manolo, Bangladesh have announced their squad for the qualifiers, or not the squad, which is an extended squad. Of course, Hamza Chaudhary makes it, and a Serie D boy, fourth tier from Italy, also makes it into it. So let's wait and see. But that's not the final squad; it's the preliminary squad. So let's see. I'm trying to work around. Let's see if I can. So therefore, let's see if I can make it to Shillong next month. Rahim Ali is a better defender than striker. Yeah, he's done defensively well. But is he a better defender than a striker? I wouldn't say so. I think if he's put properly under pressure, he would suffer. But yeah, he did well. Important block today. Otherwise, that would most probably been a goal. And yeah, that's the reality. The reason why I say players like Liston will come even better as he will be over 29 years age. I think with Liston, even age is not he'll improve. I think there are certain players who can and will improve, and there are certain players who get to a certain level and will stick to that level. Raul Red was genuine. I also think it was genuine. And I think the problem, what is happening, I think, is to me, is the AIFF disciplinary committee sometimes pulling back decisions which were right. The AIFF disciplinary committee is not helping the referees at the moment. They're rather harming the referees and their authority by pulling up some of these decisions, which in my opinion were right or are right. And yeah, it just adds another layer of confusion within Indian football. It just doesn't help. And yeah, that's another reality. So for me, despite what Sergio Lobera said, to me, you can give that as a red card. Others might not give it as a red, might give it as a yellow, but it's not a referee blunder. I mean, if Sergio wants to talk about things, but this is not a referee blunder, certainly not. And that goal, was it offside or not? I mean, we watched a number of replays, and I think nobody. So I don't know how can Sergio be so confident to say, you know what, it was offside? So therefore, again, a lot of distractions, and now Senor Lobera has joined that discussion. Another day, another goalkeeping error. Blue. Ravi Kumar was benched because of that, and come back. Again, in the second half, that save is very, very good. But yeah, if he doesn't do that blunder, most probably Punjab FC win that game. So therefore, yeah, that shoe you will have to wear, and yeah, that's the problem. No goalkeeper gives me confidence, even Vishal also. Manolo, I said yesterday, I watched Vishal Kate last Wednesday against Punjab, and he got exposed twice. And in both occasions, he wasn't up to the mark. So the point to me is, because of that Mohun Bagan defense, he's not getting exposed. So any Indian goalkeeper will be as good or as, depending on the players in front of him. Simple as that. And that is something Gurpreet was good at the start of the season, to some extent because of Gurpreet, but especially because the defense stood strong at BFC, right? So therefore, I agree with you. I don't have any goalkeeper. I would have said a while back, the one department where I'm not worried or scared about are the goalkeepers. So even that has become a problem. Hi, Rushabh. Welcome back. How can the Punjab FC coach say we deserve to win? Like, you seriously couldn't win after most of the time. It wasn't even looking like they were one man up. Yeah, Blue, but they still had enough chances to win. So I think from that perspective, I do agree with the Perez that, I wouldn't say they deserve to win. They could have won. Maybe they should have won. But and sometimes football is a sport in which playing against 10 men is tougher than against 11. And Odisha looked better, at least I felt so with 10 men than Odisha with 11. So therefore, from that perspective, I would say, yeah, obviously deserved or needed to win more, because if you look at the table, let's go to the table once. 1 second. Let me just find the ISL standings at the moment. The top 6 race is becoming very interesting because Mohun Bagan on 46, Goa play next on Wednesday at Mumbai City. Jamshedpur FC have 34. Odisha are on 26. So to me, Jamshedpur falling out of the playoffs now looks very, very unlikely. Bangalore FC won. Mumbai have 19 matches also, so they too also look now quite strong in regard to the ISL playoff race. Northeast United is the one where I would be a little worried with the 29 points on 20 after 20 matches. Odisha have 26 from those two. Kerala have 24. Punjab have 24 from 19 each, so they could both move to 27. Chennai 21 from 20, too big a mountain to climb, and East Bengal, Hyderabad out of that race. So that is what I would see. So therefore, today was an important game, and Punjab FC sort of couldn't win. Any changes you see in India while visiting will still remain the same? Do you think India players doesn't get help at the right time, or reach a certain level they can take? My thing is what I've said, and I've said today as well in the video, right? We have a consistency issue, the quality. A lot of people, the blame game is easy, right? But also the players need to work on themselves to be better. I know players who think that they can play in top leagues in Europe, so they don't even know the reality of the level of the standard they are at. By the way, things are going, seems like Ranveer Ala, so you can talk with him about Indian football in this podcast. Yeah, let's see. Not amongst my priorities. If it would happen, great. But if it doesn't, it is not a matter. So RFDL today, nothing to say, says Blue. Okay. It feels sometimes that even coaches don't know the rules, biased and spoo BS. I think the spoo, the BS, let's leave that aside. I think it's a distraction. I think also that coaches, these post-match interviews are always bad ones, because you are maybe 10 minutes after game, and then people come to you. So to me, it is not the best time. And of course, when you ask these questions, again, we saw that with Owen Coyle, we've seen that with Zaragoza, and of Senor Lobera, we've had Kodrat, we've had others as well. And therefore for me, let's wait and see. Slightly, but Pedro Benali said that Igor never had a conversation with ISL coach. I remember you saying the same thing a few months ago. Ishan, as I said, again, Manolo is talking to the coaches, so that's a good thing. Let's put it this way. Manolo Marquez is speaking to the coaches of the Indian Super League. On the other side, Igor didn't. And let's leave it as that. AIFF committee is a very big problem. They're like, let's overturn this club asked. Yeah, let's see. It is the disciplinary committee at the moment is taking some weird decisions. Decisions by the rest are actually right. Yeah. How good was Murtada Fall compared to Elisabia? Morally, I would rate Murtada Fall higher than Elisabia. Did you see anything about Samay Raina and Ranveer controversy? I've not seen it. I've just read about it, and therefore, yeah, that's something. And no, I'm not going to the Beer Biceps podcast. Uh, and it is just that I put out, if you remember, a while back. It was quite a while ago, a month ago, on asking why does Ranveer Alabadia belittle Indian football. That was my thing, and yeah, and that was my take on it. Is Maldives friendly confirmed? Still didn't see anyone covering it. Yes, Rusha will be played most probably on the 19th or 20th of March in Shillong as preparation for the qualifier against Bangladesh. I got so much second-hand embarrassment from the Owen and Robin episode. I mean, act like a grown-up for a change and respect the platform. Ishan, you, yeah, yeah, and Owen Coyle is not a young coach who wants to aspire to be something big. Sergio Beira today is not a young, you know, and let's see what happens. But to me, yeah, shameful. Hi Roshan, what on the India trip gave you hope for Indian football? There's still people around who care. People around. There's some young people who want to do stuff. I wish them all the hope. I wish them that they don't lose their enthusiasm. That's the most important thing. But the system, system is a problem. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Taken good decision to play abroad. Yes, Murali. I think for him, I said that when he came back. I said that in the summer. I feel that it was too early for him to come back from Slovenia. I think it's a right decision of him to say, you know what, I'm going back. I'm focusing, and he's going to be training at a higher level. He's going to play at a better level. So therefore, from that perspective, I think it's very, very important for him as a young footballer, as a young goalkeeper, to get that level of training and exposure. So yeah, I hope he does get better and is able to improve. Any update on AIFF? Ritik, nothing as such. I think tomorrow will be a big day. Supreme Court hearing. I don't know if it's so far. I've not heard anything that's been postponed. So let's see if the hearing will happen tomorrow on the AIFF constitution or not. Zorawa says an answer to Blue is common in India got latent, which has pissed off public. Even politicians have lodged FIR against him. Assam Chief Minister has lodged FIR against him. It wasn't just, again, let's leave it aside. It's not a sexist comment. It's a very weird comment. And they then made even more fun about it. And that's our problems. I don't know what to say. Should Isak get a chance against Bangladesh? Ritik, I think he should be in the squad. If he's going to get a chance in the starting 11, I don't know. But I think he's one of those players. Again, I did a video quite a while back about him, and I feel that he's one of those players who should be getting a chance in the international team. Virgil van Dijk and Said Giroud of France, the most underrated player. No. Morali, no. I could be wrong, but if ISL like that, I agree that our standards are not there, but ISL keeps your kitchen fires burning, respect the platform at least. Ishan, I think I wouldn't even say that just the foreigners. I think generally anyone who's working in the ISL, a lot of people don't show that respect, you know. So therefore, yeah, I know players respect India, respect, you know, I'm not sure. Shows how jobless these politicians are, says Blue. Yeah. My prediction lineup for March: Gurpreet as goalkeeper, Anwar and Jingan as centre back, right back, Beke, Suresh is central defensive midfielder, Apuya and Brandon. Central midfielders, Bryson on left wing, Manveer on right wing and striker Irfan. Okay. Let's wait and see, Rushabh. We are still, in Feb, 20th of Feb, and 25th of March is still quite a while away. Do you remember Parasari of Chennai? His playing style was good. How good was he? Yeah, he was a talented player, but again, never he could have reached. So whom would you choose as national team goalkeeper? Blue. That's a good question. Knowing Manolo will not do anything crazy. Let's put it this way, right? And so I don't know. Even Gurpreet with his performances is not thrown. But again, my worry is that watching Vishal Kate live, I didn't get that need from a goalkeeper to be our number one. If I'm looking at the goalkeepers, even look at Amrinder today, was sometimes all over the place. Is it Gurmeet? But even Gurmeet had his mistakes against Mumbai City. I honestly don't know which one to play. I honestly don't know which one to actually choose. If the referee won't have made the offside blunder, then it would have been a win for Odisha today. Is it offside? Are you sure? I am not sure. If you are that sure, brilliant. And that's the other point. Everybody seems to know better than those having to take those decisions. Do you have any opinions on the PNR activist who, according to government, was spreading anti-Indian activities, and she was not visa to meet her ailing mother? She forcefully tried to enter the Indian embassy. Does this give her a bad report or give negative condition with regard to peer inclusion in your system of affairs? I don't know what it has to do with the football matters. So don't know. I don't know the story episode, so I can't comment on it. Do you think Bryson will make it to the national team this time? Plus, it's a good question. I don't know. At the moment, Bryson and Isaac most exciting young talents in that bracket of being outside players. So let's wait and see. But do they make it into the starting 11 or do they get into the squad? Depends on Manolo. Ranveer brought it upon himself. He talks too much. The blue. Is it true that Ryan Babel was of Indian origin? He played for Netherlands. The word was decent. Not that I know of that Ryan Babel was of Indian descent. I think he was from Suriname or from Guyana. I think he was Surinamese or was, third, fourth generation Indian background out there, but I haven't heard of it. Next match, Jerry will play in starting 11 for Odisha in place of Rahul KP, says Ritik. Iniesta of Spain was something freak to watch how different he is from Beckham. Different style of players, therefore difficult to play. Shouldn't alter defensive against Bangladesh considering the players they added? No, why? Hamza Chaudhary is not an out-and-out striker, right? So Hamza Chaudhary normally would play in defensive midfield. So I don't know what his role in the Bangladesh game. I know Habib Cabrera, team coach. But we're playing at home. We want to qualify. We need to play for a win. So Ramal also says to Blue Assam Chief Minister lost FI against Ramvela Badia, Ashish Chachlani, Samay Raina, and Apurva. Okay. Has Sergio Roberto lost the ability to win matches with an average team? Was the success largely dependent on players like Ahmed Joe and Murtada Fall who could control possession at tempo? Shuankar and Afrin, yeah. That is the thing. And those perform again. Ugu Bumus tried his best today, but yeah. So therefore, right. But he's played in top. He's coached top. Goa was a good team. Mumbai City was a very good team when he won everything. And now at Odisha, yeah, difficult. Red card, correct. Marvelous animation to me. You can give it. It's not, and he steps on his foot. So, yeah, can be given. Maybe it's karma. Huh? You should have gotten a red card against Punjab FC in Kerala Blasters colours when he took a match and right. So therefore, I think it was the right decision. How can very slim players like Di Maria, Valverde, Isak, Ekitike able to run power in the shot, something Indian players can learn? Because it looks like Indian players struggle with power. It's technique, it's practice. Blue says, no, I know, but just imagine Manta is Assam's GM away from Mumbai launching complaint against them. It's just PR, nothing else. And Blue, that's one of the problems, right? Let them do their government job, government, But yeah, who's gonna answer? Amrinda can start against Bangladesh, but it can be shaky sometimes. Sometimes? I mean, look at today. Ranveer in a podcast with Dada will definitely ask something stupid, pseudo-scientific, like क्या Indian players meditate और क्या ये को national team में chance देना चाहिए. Nice one, Rushabh. I don't get in conflicts either, but I think any of Gopal Singh, Sandhu, Amrinder Singh, and Vishal Kate will play if he wants to go all out. Maybe Albino or Gurmeet would be the ones maybe on that list. When can we expect our national squad to be out, sir? Ishan, I think by the end of the month, earliest, maybe even in the first week of March. East Bengal fans are targeting Omay Kushar from Imame. They're making him scapegoat. Well, as Ramar, first point is Omoy is not from Imami. Omoy is from East Bengal club. As far as I know, maybe he gets some of his money from Imami, but he's an East Bengal club appointed person within that setup. And no one is going to touch Nituda. So Omoy is the easiest target in this. How good are PIO player standards if you compare with European leagues? They play in the European leagues, right? They might not play at the top level, but they play at a high level. So yeah. You mentioned about the story a couple of videos ago regarding Osea and PIO being the person, and then you defended the PIO committee. Do you remember? Yeah, I do. And I still stick to that point. I think India treats its people of origin not with the respect that they deserve. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having we wouldn't have a question of dual citizenship. You want the money, but you don't want to give the people, Bangladeshis in social media have become toxic after getting Hamza Chaudhary, putting Hamza in attacking midfielder position. They're predicting Hamza would score a trick against us. Why are you bothered about that? We will meet on the field in Shillong, and then we'll see what happens. He could score a hat-trick. He might not score a hat-trick. He might be injured before that and might not play. So don't bother. Also, a lot of goals. That was the jinx in his arm. As defensive weakness was saved by his explosive attacking. This team scored a lot of goals, which is not happening yet. Very good, Ishan. Very valid point. Be it at Goa, be it at Mumbai, there were a lot of games which, 5-4, 4-3s, 4-2s, Just the future and a goalkeeper and South champion this time and rest. Gopal Singh Sandhu. Blues, let's look at March. You're looking already past the second qualifier into June, right? We have a proper number 9 Subhashishpo, so no need to worry. Okay. I hope that was sarcasm, Ritik. Any update on Super Cup? Push-up, nothing. It's just that I've heard, like many others, that it's supposed to happen in Goa in April, but there's been no confirmation of that kind. This story of PO actually saying that PO should never get a passport visa. If you think these stories make it harder for PO players to include in national team, XYZ, I think there is a general opinion of people like myself who are of origin And as I've said, I think get the respect that we deserve. I feel that, and therefore, again, what people say on Twitter, what this woman has done or not, I don't know. Therefore, I can't comment on it. But again, I can only say it from a sporting perspective. I can speak out of my own experience, and therefore, that is something. And again, we don't want to have a conversation with. You think Lobera will go to Kerala next season, Rithik? There has been rumors. Supposedly, there have been even talks with Sergio Lobera. Nothing confirmed as far as I know, but to try and find a new head coach. And it will be interesting to see if Lobera leaves Odisha. I think the first question is, does Odisha continue in the summer? I think that's a question that should be asked to Rohan. And then they continue. How do they continue? Because he has a theoretical contract, if I'm right. There is a PR goal playing for Oxford United U70 player named Ajay Patel. Maybe Blues. I haven't heard about it. Even with hype, if we got hands on any of the players, 100% Rishabh, totally agree. If XYZ is playing for us, then suddenly, we would hype up our OCIs, PIOs in a way. And let's see. OCI PIO players could turn Iceland to better business players would play in Iceland, get set a higher benchmark close to retirement. Babalu's animation, I'm not sure if that's the step that I would like to see to be taken, that PIOs, OCIs come back to India and play in our league. Maybe, in my opinion, I feel better for these players to play in their respective leagues and come back to India, because I have a feeling that if players play 2-3 years in our league, like some of the foreigners, at some stage they stagnate or even get worse, even foreigners. So therefore, I don't know. I want them to play whatever they are. So our answers to Blue, not only Asam, and this has become UP Marsh has now criticized them. Hamza would keep the ball. Yes, they might dominate midfield. He would give good passes if he let them, but he's not a goal-scoring threat. Monroe needs a plan to contain the midfield. Okay. When you look in paper, they sound good in terms of stats, but when it comes on playing field, they are different level examples. In case of Vasquez and Mendoza. Listen, statistics, video analysis, and all those things are good. And with AI and all that stuff that you can do with but to me, they have to still play on the field. Rohan Lutra is another Origin goalkeeper playing at a good level, right? Yes, Rohan is playing at a good level. In Indian football team need Origin player and PIO, says Tripurasa Vlog TV. Yes. Does India have better quality players than the likes of Bangladesh and Pakistan? I would say overall, yes. But again, we need to find the right ones to play for us. What do you think about Sancho's freedom comment on Rashford? I honestly don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I haven't seen it. Our hype would be qualifying for World Cup and winning Asian Cup. We would go crazy, fill the streets every year. XYZ. Rishabh says, in that Northeast United game in Shillong, commentators were praising the state government way too much throughout the match. They talked about how good renovations have been and blah, blah, blah. Rishabh, I think there's a lot of, to me, if you look at that stadium, even 10, 15 years ago, sadly, I've never been to Shillong, but if you just look at the pictures and see what they've done with that, and if you see the state of some of these other stadiums, let's talk about a state like Kerala. The Blasters have called the Nehru Stadium in Kallur their home now for 11 seasons. 11. You've had an under-17 World Cup where Javier Shepi, as the CEO of the tournament, said matches should not take stadium is not safe. Right? Javi said that. They have blocked since then the third tier of that stadium. Nothing has happened. Now here you have a state which in 6 to 9 months has created a venue which is in a position to host India matches. So yes, every compliments, every bit of credit, praise should be given to Conrad Sangma and his government. And if you ask, let's say, Manda Tamane about it, Manda will say the same thing. So therefore, from that perspective, it's a huge thing. In my opinion, they deserve every bit of praise. I mean, I even did a video about that 3 days ago, about Meghalaya Shillong to make ISL debut tonight, and therefore I'd say they deserve it. Congrats, Yuva Bharat. Sorry. Let me start again. Blue has written, new venue alert. Congrats to Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Kirangan Salt Lake, Kolkata to earn the FIH Category 2 certificate with step of hockey excellence. Hockey India tweeted. Yes, so the decades there was supposed to be a hockey ground within the Salt Lake Stadium premises. Now that hockey stadium has come up, besides the two practice grounds. So for hockey in Bengal, for hockey in India, it's a big step to have that kind of a quality stadium. Our best long-term bet will probably be Som Kumar. He spent at least 3-4 years more in Europe and gets better. Yeah, let's wait and see. Came back too early. So let's wait and see. Is Odisha FC crazy to get rid of Libera for bringing his foreigners? Odisha will never make such a decision willingly. Again, we don't know what. It's all speculation on fans, Let's wait and see. Sahal or Brandon against Hamza, then something that I wouldn't have imagined a few years ago. Ishan, I saw Sahal last week. Sahal also got injured, and he couldn't even walk, forget even run. He got injured while sleeping. It was embarrassing. And therefore, Brandon. If Hamza was there in that 2019 game, they would have ripped us apart. Our defense is still unreliable, difficult to predict how good Hamza will be for Bangladesh. To speculate what would have happened in 2019, you never know, because that would have been a different game. And maybe it would have helped us. You don't know, I don't know. So therefore, those speculations about how match could be, how match could go, is nice to have, or go back in history. Let's see. The downfall of Ansu Fati, he was once compared to Messi and Barca. So rather, we've had a lot of comparisons to Messi, Ansu Fati, Halilovic. I don't know, XYZ player. I even forgot some of the names. The reality, right? Injuries, didn't get a chance, moved here. Reality. Not everyone's going to become a Lionel Messi. How good a Pierre player impressed you? Only those who have seen, those who have watched. I know, and having watched now 4 matches in 10 days in India, we need to do a lot more. We have to do a lot more in our football. We are not good enough from where we stand at this moment. So therefore, the PIOs have certain qualities, and I think, so let's wait and see what happens. Right, nearly 40 minutes on this football live discussion. 8 likes so far only. Guys, I think we can do better on that front. And those of you who haven't, as I said, like, share, but also subscribe. We're at 2,214. Thank you to all of you, and hopefully we continue to grow the community. And those of you who haven't, do look at the shorter videos that I make on a regular basis. Today I asked the question, why are our footballers so inconsistent? And yesterday I asked the question, another lost ISL campaign for East Bengal. Before that, FIFA suspends Pakistan's PFF. Could India's AIFF be next? Again, tomorrow, a very decisive day potentially on that matter. The India versus Bangladesh game in Bangladesh will be a must-watch. Big pressure on Bangladesh to win because only sport Bangladesh can eventually beat India. Don't know if that's an added pressure. Any one of our neighbors playing against us in football or in any other sport will want to beat us, right? So, I don't know. It's definitely praiseworthy for Shillong. It looks quite good for national team. But praising throughout the game, I mean, it was way too much. It's their job, right? Praise them. But, sir, ito mat. Okay. What do you think is wrong with teams like Man United and Tottenham? No matter how good they look on paper, there is always something off. Simple KFC. And there you've answered the question. Looking good on paper doesn't mean you're going to be good on the field. How good is a hockey stadium? We've got some great ones in Bhubaneswar, in Rourkela, and Patna. So we've got some good ones these days. Now, what do you think is the problem that's stopping Pierre to make moves to big clubs in Europe? Not talking about Vikash or those guys. Being at the right time at the right place. I don't know. Sometimes there are reasons. Vikash, for example, we don't want to talk about Vikash Tokaso, but Vikash was, playing at Lyon, at AC Milan, playing at Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than that. Played a World Cup final. For some reason, I honestly don't know why our players are not breaking through I mean, in the UK, I would say that racism is one of the issues that, that players of South Asian heritage are struggling to the top. But elsewhere, it's, in Scandinavia, there are a few playing in the top tier, but otherwise, our players haven't really broken through. That's a reality. India shouldn't go to Bangladesh for football matches, especially with the anti-India rhetoric going on there. I think XYZ answers you that question. Well, then we might not qualify for Asian Cup. Let's beat them in Bangladesh. As long as Bangladesh has not been banned by AFC or FIFA, they have to play the game. I think Salman was forced to play him due to red card. Zahar had other players on the bench. I don't think you had to force. He was terrible. He couldn't even walk properly. Any PL players in Bundesliga or second Bundesliga, sir? No, Ishan, we have no pros here. Deepak Tangre against us fit now. Hope he'll be called up. He could contain Hamza. Let's see. How do you think POC players will help us beat teams like UAE and Qatar or Bahrain, or will still lose? These the players will make us better. Who we beat, who we don't beat, I can't tell you. Hi, Ginger Leon. Why did Changte turn down the 3 years contract offer from in 2019? I guess money was a factor, if you ask me. Based on the current condition in Bangladesh, Indian footballers will be in threat. Remember, it's the job of the Bangladesh government, of the Bangladesh Football Federation, to ensure our security. This is the Bangladesh team coming to India. And as long as there is no perceived threat by the AFC/FIFA representatives, they will have to go. Recently, local Kerala media stated Kochi Stadium isn't safe as per reports from stadium. Of course, it's not. Forget the shops and that explosion that happened and one person died. That's the first problem, that you've got shops in the um, the Greater Cochin Development Authority has allowed shops to be in there. That's a problem in itself, and needs to be knocked out and rebuilt completely. But yeah. So what about salary of Indian football team for development? If you change your football, need more money to buy a high quality video camera and ISF connect with referee headset. Salary is too high, and it's we don't need more money. We need to spend it wisely. Tibrasa, Block TV. So that would be my racism against South Asian players as a victim of racism stuff. Yeah, yeah, very, very right. Rishabh asks, what do you want? AFC FIFA to ban us? I mean, our cricket team played there even with conflict going on, so no excuse for national team. Exactly. Do you agree that Barca fans have some kind of obsession of getting new Messi? In my opinion, that put unnecessary pressure on young players. Blue, if you aren't able to take that pressure, it's a problem. Every club has some sort of fascination about something or the other that they want. Want an Alex Ferguson time kind of era. The Borussia Dortmund fans have been looking for the last 10 years for it, or searching for a new Jurgen Klopp, who's never turned up. Yeah, these are all realities of the situation, right? So therefore, for me, there's that fascination where Madrid will want a new Cristiano Ronaldo. They will want this. They will want that. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So therefore, we'll have to see what happens. Any update on Ambedkar Stadium? Is renovation complete? No, it's nowhere near completion. East Bengal youth teams are getting exposed this year across all age groups. Last year, their fans and officials were claiming that they have the best youth system in Bengal. So, Ravar, you can have the best youth system in India. You can have the best youth system in the world. My simple question to you would be, what is the end product at the top? And the end product at the top is, let's not talk about it, right? So from that perspective, whatever East Bengal is saying, whatever other teams are saying, we have a problem. Let's talk about that. Yeah, so this is something which is, yeah, right. People have been telling me Binu George is doing a great job, this and that, and I say, how many of the players actually have been of ISL level quality that he's. To me, PV Vishnu, sorry to reiterate that point, to me, PV Vishnu is not an ISL level player. Right? And if PV Vishnu is an ISL level player, then we have a quality problem. Right? So, yeah. Rushabh answers, Blue, even we have this obsession of next Chetri, so this thing is quite common in any single club. Agree? Rushabh, as I said, certain clubs are looking for a coach. Others are looking for a certain type of player. And that fascination, I think Barca ideally would have a Messi, ideally Iniesta, Xavi as well. And again, that is, I guess, part of football, right? How it is. The youth system is basically Bina George scouting players from Kerala through Instagram. Is some people have told me this? Is this factually true? I thought he was scouting the Santosh Trophy. That's how he's getting his players. Anyone who plays a striker for a national team has big boots to fill, right? So yeah, pressure, whether it is unnecessary or not. Rushabh agree. The pressure is there. The pressure was there. The pressure is there on whoever could, would, should play as a number 9 for India. And not only that, I think even the question about goalkeepers that we're asking is the same situation, that we in Indian football have not been able to players, or let me term it differently, that the next generation has not stepped up to to be better than the current one. And that is, I think, hurting our football dramatically at the moment. And therefore, we are where we are. And we are nowhere near where we could, should, would need to be. And that's, therefore, we need to find solutions to that. But for that, those solutions need to come from grassroots and youth football. Now, if you start working on grassroots today, you will most probably get a result, I don't know, in 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. Recently, Mohammed signed a player from Quero, whom Bino George was inquiring about from Insta. Okay, I guess that's the story then. I guess Bino will have done his scouting in a proper way normally, but yeah, it's difficult to find the right players and move in the right direction. That's the challenge that you have, right? I think talent is not abundantly available where you say, XYZ player, I'm waiting for it. It's like I was watching last week Paramveer Singh, the Punjab FC young defensive. Interesting. But is he ready to go and sign for Mohun Bagan next season? In my opinion, no, because that would be a step 2-3 levels up to go to. And if you've got foreign defenders, foreign centre backs, he's not going to play. I mean, and a player like him at his age needs to play. It's like Suhail today. Saw him last week. Sorry, a couple of weeks ago. Wasn't good. I don't think Rahul KP was a red card. And that's the charm of football, Arnav. You're saying it's not a red card. I feel you can give it a red card. You don't have to, but you can give it a red card. So that's the. I don't want next city. I just want a striker who can put the ball behind the goal. Behind the goal or in the goal? Huh, Zorawa? Because we have enough strikers who can put the ball behind the goal. So I think that we want to put it into the net, right? So jokes apart, I think that, and so therefore, let's wait and see. Well, now the Mohun Bagan is now looking forward to do a residential academy for youth and recent largely Paul Abhishek Mondal has been showing the prominence in U15, U17. Shivam, I don't know who's saying it, but having spoken to certain people close to, from my hearing, is that they don't want an academy. So I don't know where you're hearing this. How would you rate Bibiano? Could he see emerging Ali club next season? I rate him highly, but will he leave BFC and move on? I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let them build an academy before saying anything, hearing it for a while. Exactly, Blue, and yeah, let's see. To me, prove it by doing it. They are knocking the doors of getting into out of the reserve team at 14 years. Rajdeep being a striker scored 33 goals in recent 11 games. So Shivam, when I hear 14 years, 33 goals, my alarm bells start immediately ringing because I know that there are no tests being done at the moment. Is the boy really 14? Can that be proven? Alarm bells are automatically ringing. The way Chetri missed the penalty against Albino, German commentators made fun in other matches with other players. Yeah, Roshan. Yeah, they would have made it. And I think I know what you're talking about. Are there any improvements in coach education? not much talk about coach education at the moment. I think we need a radical overhaul of the coach education system because the coaches are not good enough. That's my concern. If you look at our coaches at the moment, the ones that are in the we need more coaches. We need better coaches. Is the AIFF Academy any good? I mean, FIFA Academy, sir. The FIFA AIFF Academy is too early to say anything, Ishan. It's just started. Yeah. Raji's being high. Even told him that they will financially take care of his family. I told him to concentrate only on football. That's great to hear, Zorawar. But again, is he really 14? And if I hear they want to take financially care of the family, that means he comes from the poorer strata of society. So, that's, and then already I think this isn't worth the effort, right? And I was said, do Indian players need longer league and more matches? Generally, I have a feeling at the moment that the players are struggling with the league that we have. So, you again, our problem is we are comparing India with countries, other parts of the world, and I realized that 10 days on the road and traveling, having meetings, simply watching matches in the evening. I was dead tired every evening. I thought I might do the one or the other late night live with you guys. Situation. So I know, again, of course, yes, I'm a little old. Shouldn't forget it. But again, I'm also in that way. I'm a German traveling in India. So I feel that the players, this whole travel, going from a match, training, weather conditions, I still feel a little bit choked with. Is a factor as well. Uh, you know, uh, uh, Difficult question. As I've said in the past, I would rather have a 10-team league, and you play each other thrice. That gets you to 27 matches. In the future, I will consider applying for an e-license, but does AIFF courses make coaches better? Rushabh, the coaches are not making anyone better. It is about having a license to coach at a certain level. So therefore, the coaching license courses are not. It's not like you're going to an educational institution. This is about understanding of what the basics are for an E license, for a D license, for a C license, B, A, and Pro. That's about it. What we also need to get rid of is the arrogance of the Indian football ecosystem. So much arrogance, giving nothing. This, by the way, is that result of being overpaid. Very well said, Ishan. So that's a problem, right? We don't want to talk about realities. We don't want to talk about what are the real problems here and there. And we're there where we are. That's so to me, where are we that we can allow ourselves to be arrogant would be my question. 14 to 15 surely can't be more than that, though I am judging by his looks. See, Shivam, that's the problem. Never judge a player by his looks. Then you say that the Northeastern boys look 13 and they're playing under 18, and then people tell you they're 22. Doesn't work. You see Siraj Deep pictures, he does. If he is at max, he would be 22 years over age at max, which is basically a norm in Indian football. So now that's what I'm saying. I don't go by looks. It's not about the looks. If the looks logic doesn't work, in my opinion, a player has to be judged if he is at that is something, which helps us or doesn't help us. Now either as I reduce the number of teams or building a league. NBA was with Western Eastern Conference and so on. Roshan, Western Eastern Conference would mean how many teams? 30 down the road. And X number of matches here, X number of matches there. I think India, with its current conditions, as I say, 10 teams, ISL most probably is the best. Make the I-League even a 10-12 team, or keep it a 12-team league, and then regional league that you could do maybe two, maybe even three zones. Split it up. Also add to the traveling part the poor roads of India and the traffic. Yeah, yeah. That's my point in regard to traveling. I mean, I was in a meeting, sorry, in BKC, and after that to go Goregaon East, right? And that needed 1.5 hours in traffic, right? And you are finished after that. So, and the players are taken care of, they travel in buses and all that stuff, all understood. But Indian conditions are the way they are, and it may takes a toll on you. And what I've realized also, as I said, to me, a factor clearly is also pollution. I still have a little bit of a scratch in my throat, because yeah, it's just simply, and I didn't have that when I left Germany for India. So these are all realities which also impact the game in an Indian condition. Even if Rajdeep is over it, so many goals, that too at U15 level makes him different. He has a goal contribution every match he's played till now. So Rama, that's great. German prodigy. Hmm? And therefore for me, this is it just doesn't work. If you're great at that level, very often you don't make it at senior. So there's a stats on that as well. So therefore for me, if you ask me, it's a huge problem. Yusufa Mokoko, now 20 years old, on loan at Nice. Well, I saw him as a 13-year-old playing the under 17 for Borussia Dortmund against SG Unterrath in Düsseldorf. Scored 6 goals in a 9-2 win. So if you're that good at that age, very, very rarely do you make it to the top. Sorry to break that myth to you. It can also be seen in national team games. My brother also shared that our players looked very tired when they landed in Manipur for the Tri-Nation tournament when it happened. Yeah, Ishan. Again, it is something. And then you are taking matches to Shillong, you're taking matches to Imphal. That is hard traveling. I don't know why, but I feel somewhere he's a generational talent. But God knows if I'm getting betrayed, though I hope not to be. Shivam, I hope and I wish you're right. For us, for all of us, for Indian football, I hope and wish that this is the real deal. But my learnings of the last 25, 6, 27 years is very, very simple, that I'm not getting carried away by anything. I know that, you know, some top level talent in Indian football, but my question is then, knowing, having seen players, I've seen a lot of boys who've been exceptional at under 15, under 17, under 19 level. Most of them don't make the cut, right? And if you're that good at 15, 16, straight up, like Wayne Rooney made it straight up, James Milner made it straight up. Those guys debuted at Everton at 15, 16, right? Mukoko debuted at 16 at Dortmund, right? So therefore, yeah. Ritik Das, after such a long time, they had just disappeared. It felt we have completely forgotten about Akash Mishra, by the way. Agree, Ishan. Injuries take you out, and these extended injuries where you nearly miss a whole season, we forget, right? The next level of players come in. The best youth development is being done by FC Madras. They also don't do Edgeworth. Zaravar, how many players have FC Madras produced till date? That you're saying that they're a new setup. Let them prove. Let them create something. Usually, very few child prodigy justifies their hype, but one can hope that's the only thing Indian football fans have for now. Turbo, I agree. Ritik Das was never a talent. He was a one-season wonder. Yeah, let's see what is. But most probably he will end up as being that. After the injury, he isn't being the same again. One of the reasons I heard on 420 grams for underperformance of our age group national teams was the steps taken to curb age fraud recently. Ishant, then other people will tell you it was earlier. So then who's to believe? Right? That's a problem at the moment, right? That's a problem of what is true, what is not true, what is real, where do we stand on this now? A good example is that won the 17 World Cup, only 2 or 3, including Phil Foden, have done well. Exactly. Phil Foden, Jadon Sancho, Mark Gui, and then that list nearly ends, right? So therefore, exactly right. So that's what I'm saying. Someone who does well as a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old, as long as they don't really make it at the top. So my hope is that we have that talent and some boy makes it. But I hope he proves up to the hope, and let's make sure not to hype him anymore, brothers. But one thing even the coaches have said or want him is not to get overconfident and arrogant. And Shivam, saying that is easy. Anyone can say that to him. Should be saying that to him. But if you come from humble backgrounds, there will be people who will pat your back and say, "Arey, acha karo, great, lovely, brilliant, done, coach." That's the danger. That is my danger, and therefore let the boy play, let him prove himself, let him grow, and if he's that talent that you think or hope he is, then we hope to see him. Now, sir, can we qualify for Asian Cup this time? Jen Joylian. I hope. I hope we qualify for the Asian Cup. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect from qualifiers. Yeah. Does anybody in the world know how good or how bad we are at the moment with the national team? I don't know. Honestly, I do not know where we stand with the Indian football national team, and I would have never said that in the past, right? It's crazy to think about it. Right, over an hour and 7 minutes already. But I'm liking this discussion, I'm liking this conversation. Do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind as well. 10 likes so far. I think we can do better, guys. And if you want to come back regularly for more content, do subscribe to the channel. 2214. Thank you very much, everyone. And let's keep on growing the community as always. And also watch the short videos that I make. Again, today I was talking about the inconsistency of Indian footballers. And thank you as always for your support. After seeing the FIFA AIFF academy players against Intercash, I have some hope though its little players look technically good. Zoravar, early days. Yeah, let's not get carried away, as I say. Do second Bundesliga and third division in Germany players earn enough to sustain themselves? Yes, Ishant, they are professionals. Even some are professionals. Yeah. Mohun Bagan versus East Bengal is nowadays like Liverpool Everton derby. Okay, Zambo. Fans are not hyping Rajdeep, but by the way, his coach is Robert rating him highly is fine, but we're talking about him, right? People are talking about him. And if you're talking about him, then indirectly you're hyping him. So that is the danger of the boy, for the boy. Are there any good Indian origin football agents, budgeters? The only one I know of. Yeah, there are quite a few, even with all respect, Rajit, in the business. And so there are quite a few of them in the business. Right. Have I answered all your questions for today, or do you want to throw me something extra? As that, sorry, we still haven't found Jesus' replacement, so I have little hope about us replacing J3. Probably the system will replace him. Yeah, I agree, Shan. That's going to be the question. difficult. I feel um, um, your system has to fit to the players that you have available. The national for that has to be kept in mind. Error-prone goalkeeper in ISL this season. Yeah, Sachin. So again, another mistake today. Yeah, the story continues. Is Ashish injured? Ashish Rai. Yes, Ashish Rai is injured, as Blue says. Because of that injury, he won't be playing against the Kerala Blasters. And Sahal will also miss the trip to Kerala. Will it be a red card? I think so. It is. To me, Sachin, it is a red card. Again, you can discuss if it has to be. It can be debatable, but Rahul KP has to go into that in a different way, and therefore, for me, it is a clear-cut red card. We probably don't need replacement. Mind it, guys. We need much better than them in order to sustain the long run to get to the destination. Shivan, very well said. That's, I think, the challenge for Indian football to find better replacements. And do we have them? At the moment, we don't, right? We're still considering looking at Sunil as a replacement, right? So therefore, these are things that are there. We can see how we find solutions. Is the Puya available with Kerala C? At the moment, yes. But Zorawar, it's the 10th of February and the match is on the 15th, so there's still some time. Sachin, can't generalize. And again, it's not a topic to discuss here on such a channel. Apu is available. Again, as I said, Shivam, today he is. You still have 4 days to go. Let's wait and see what happens to Apuya or not. Right, slowly, if there's no other things that you're gonna want to discuss, I'll slowly come to an end today as well. As I always like to say, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Watch the shorter videos. The more all of you guys watch, the more it gets reach. Yeah, and try and keep on spreading the word about Indian football. I think it's tough these days, but we all need to do that, right? Are you a supporter of Ismail Mormagan? Zorawar, if you had asked me in the past, I would have clearly said I'm an. Since having worked now with two of the teams now playing ISL, of course, having set up Mumbai City FC, having set up Round Glass Punjab, my loyalties are a little bit more with those two sides. But yes, originally family-wise, our links are to East Bengal Club. Best striker option you see in ISL. There can only be one man. Such Sunil, Sunil Chetri. Sachin, if you ask me, name me a striker outside Sunil. That's the problem, right? At the moment, that's our biggest problem in the striker position. Sunil is still our best striker, and therefore, to me, he is our best option as a number 9. Other than him, Irfan Yadwat, most probably. Irfan Yadwat, Rahim Ali for doing the meters, and like those two are then would be in my list, but then thereafter, I don't see anyone. PFC fans consider the West striker an ISL. Yeah, let them think. I think he's won them so much. Today's fan hero is tomorrow's villain. That's also a problem, I guess. But again, that's a reality to me. Class player, was a class player, you know. I see Aladdin. He's the best striker in India. Give him citizenship. Aside, we don't have oil. Sure, it's not a question of oil. If you had an opportunity in some sort of oil, um, yeah, but we don't have the possibilities. Acha, you mean Edgar Mendes? Yeah, he scored an opportunistic goal. Huh? Yadva needs to improve finishing. Other thing is good. Yeah, Sachin, I think all the strikers need to better improve their finishing. That's a general problem, I think, with strikers in an Indian system. Right. For the final time, as I say, if you haven't, to leave a like, to leave a share, subscribe to Arun Foot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back tomorrow with another live discussion on Indian football. Let's see if the Supreme Court hears the the constitution of the All India Football Federation, and then we might have a totally different discussion tomorrow. Because if they do make those changes, are we then heading into another FIFA ban? So therefore, let's look out to tomorrow, and we'll be continuing to speak about Indian football on our Chaudhary signing off.